Okay, everyone, and welcome to the interview with our second winner of the Trade Ideas Portfolio Master Challenge. I am here with Lazar, who turned $100,000 into a whopping $3.5 million. And what was it, 3 days, give or
Yeah,
take? So a
exactly.
nice little modest return that you'd probably get with the S&P 500, just buy and hold. Um, yeah, so this one was a lot of fun. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of right down to the wire. I think in the last day is when you kind of made some great
Yeah.
trades and took it. So we're just going to chat for a little bit about your history, your style, things you've learned, that kind of stuff. So can we just start a little bit with the history? So A, how did you get started and interested in trading? And then how
Mhm.
did you get interested in taking our competition?
Yeah. So in trading in general, I cannot remember, but how I started. But like everyone, I started digging out, searching the stuff, started trading the demo. I blew up many accounts, but uh, I had a luck that I didn't blow up with a larger amount of the money. So it was like a small accounts. But overall, I blew up a few, probably more than 5 accounts so far. So, and that basically that's how I started. Then I started reading, researching, met some great people. I'm in a great community, and just go through the rabbit hole and made myself up here.
I'm just taking notes too as you're talking, just if you see that. But
Mhm.
so what was your strategy? So when you logged
So
on the first time, you're like, you mentioned a little bit earlier before we started, and I want you to kind of retell that story about how initially you had to make a little adjustment with position size early on.
yeah,
But
that like
you sit down at the desk the first day. What are you doing? What are you looking for to find what to trade that day? How are you generating your ideas? You don't need to tell us the secret sauce, but
yeah, of course, of
what are you
course.
doing?
So just during the time when we had a competition, I was trading with my real account on the side. So I was just continuing to do the same. Maybe what was different, I tried to push a little bit more because that was the not the demo account. So you can explore.
Hmm.
First day, actually, I remember first day I made 2,000, and I didn't know that we have the portfolio rank on a website. So I wasn't aware of that. And I thought, okay, I may be, in top 10. Then when I looked at, I saw the person who is the number one is actually in thousands and thousands
Yeah.
more than me. So I changed my strategy and pushed it a bit more. I mean, but what I mean by pushed, I took the bigger size, I'm shorting, so most of the time, I mean, not most, everything was pure short. So I was pushing really big size, On the end, 3.5 million in 3 days, it's you need to push us with size.
Well, and that's interesting too, because a lot of people would think 100K into 3.5 million probably bought a penny stock or something, and then that, tripled or 10x or something. But you're trading from the short side. So that means your
Yeah.
maximum return on a percentage basis is 100%.
Yeah.
So you must have been doing it, again, you're leveraging up and you're taking frequent trades. So what's the first thing you look for to short? Like how do you narrow your universe down to what to
Yeah.
short? And then when is it that you decide to hit the button on it?
So that's where trade idea is actually helping. Actually, I have my own scan, pre-built scans. I have one for
Yep.
pre-market, one for the market open, and one for the post-market. So I had them from before because I was using your software before. I didn't know, I wasn't aware that we can trade, but from what I understood, it's a new thing, right?
You're fairly
So,
new, yeah. And then, again, you're
uh,
the second winner of this contest, which is
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
and basically, I have trade ideas on the side. My scanners are on. I have my headset, so every time I can hear if something is popping up. I have also scanner for hold stocks. So if
Okay.
something pop up, I can start looking at it. um, During that week when we had a competition, that was really wild week. Like we had the runners, and it was really, really wild. Yeah. So I know that a lot of people blow up in a competition because it was really wild. MULN was active. I remember a lot of
Yes.
Chinese, yeah, a lot of Chinese stocks. So it was really wild.
So
So
yeah, let's go to that MULN trade, for example, because
mm,
I noticed, I've been watching the whole time. We all watch internally what everyone's trading. And you said you didn't know, but now you know on that website, we also have that heat map of what everyone's trading.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that MULN day, I think everybody in the competition was trading
yes,
it, and it went from like $1 to $20,
yes,
and
and
halted along the way. So as somebody who is shorting that and you're looking for something that's obviously right crazy overextended, how do you stop from blowing up is the first
I
thing.
will be honest, yeah, I
And
didn't
then
trade. I didn't trade with that stock. I
oh,
didn't.
okay.
That was the first day. That's why I made only 2,000, because I was really like selective. I didn't trade with that because I would never trade with my real account on this, you
Yeah.
know. And day after, when I saw that I need to be aggressive, I started trading with that. So maybe I traded day two, but honestly, I cannot remember the price action the next day. But most probably I traded the next day with because it was really extended and it was on the way down. There was one more stock I forgot. I forgot, but if I remember, I will recall. It was same like MULN, like
Yeah,
really
so
extended.
I guess my question, because we saw a lot of that. We saw a lot of hey, I'm going to look for XYZ company that is just blowing up out of nowhere, and I'm going to look to try to short it on the way back down. So I guess my question's twofold. When do you try to guess, okay, this is a real move versus, a company that maybe has done
Mm,
something amazing and it's going to run for multiple days, or something like an MULN that has this history of, rocket up and then tank. How do you sort those out with those scans? Which again, I'm going to get you to share your
Yeah, I will
scans when you're
share.
done.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, so I'm scanning the stocks, of course, like
Yeah.
most of the people. On the side, I have a lot of data from the previous year, so I know that stock from the previous, years.
Yeah.
Also, I'm using the other tools like digging into the filings, and I'm in a great community, and there is a lot of really good traders there. So we are sharing our findings and trying to see if these stocks is actually have, if there is dilution, if there is a more space to go up, or is there inside buyer. So a lot of stuff can be, if is it in the hot sector, is it you know
Now, when it comes time to pull the trigger, so you have a stock, let's just hypothetical, rocketing into nowhere. You've done your research, you've read the filings, you're not impressed, right? Insiders are selling, they're not buying. You think there's probably more dilution coming because we see it all the time. These things pop out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden the company uses the opportunity to sell a bunch of shares into the public, and then it goes back down.
yeah.
What is the thing that you're looking for as that turning point? Are you averaging in as it's going up? Or are you
So
waiting
yeah,
for
yeah,
some sort of turn?
it depends, but yes, yeah, of course, watching the price action, watching the tape chart. I mean, everything combined together, and then I'm averaging the price. So I'm starting small, and I'm trying to recycle the shares. During the competition, we didn't have that. We couldn't recycle the shares, but in real time, how I trade, I'm doing that. I'm recycling a lot, so, and then I can make a rebate out of that.
Yeah.
So to do that, you cannot go, big. I need to adapt. Or again, when competition was, I needed to adapt. So it was a bit different, but I tried. I tried to size up a little bit bigger than usually I will do with my real account.
Okay. So no, I like that because a lot of people that we saw getting blown out on those, they didn't do an averaging
Of course,
kind
they
of
go
way that
all
you're
in. Yeah,
talking about, right?
yeah.
They go all in, they
Uh,
they they short, maybe it halts, it gaps up a bit, and then
sure.
they're blown up. So it makes
Also,
sense if you're going to try to time that move. So is it kind of I'm going to average in a little bit on the way up, and then
so
when it confirms a down
yeah,
move, I'll punch it?
yeah.
Is that
Also, yeah, it depends on the stock float. If it's the really small float, I will not go aggressively because it can squeeze. I mean, with the demo, it cannot squeeze you, but I'm guessing the other people are trading with the real money, so when it's a small float, it can squeeze really hard and big. So I would wait, for a second move or third move in that case. If it's a, let's say, so in my language, we have like what is the nano float, mid float,
Yep.
So
Yep.
if it's in the range that I'm calling the mid float, I will start averaging. If it's the really high float, I will not trade with that, like Facebook, Twitter, those blue chip stocks. I'm not trading with them because the price action is really different, and
Well,
you cannot.
and that's one thing we do a lot of. If you look at a lot of trade ideas, it's looking for these things that are moving crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're right, a Facebook or even the SPY or Nvidia. There's a lot of algos in it, right? The algos
Exactly.
dare not play in
Yeah, of
MULN because
course.
they're gonna get rolled. But there's a lot of algos that are messing with price in and out on those bigger cap names. And then also the amount of return isn't going to be as much.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
buy a Facebook, you're going to try to scalp, 25 cents or something out
Yeah,
of
of
it.
course.
Right? You shorten MULN, if you nail it, you're looking for a couple bucks at
Yeah,
least, right?
at least.
Uh,
Yeah.
so okay, so you're all set up. You've got your plan. How closely are you watching that leaderboard when you find out it happens? Because you said the
Uh,
first day you're like,
yeah.
I'm behind.
That was the fun. Yeah. The
Yes.
last day, there was one guy, and we were like so
Yeah.
close. And then I start doing something that I think is psychology. I was start pushing, and so I saw that he is out. He don't have position.
Yeah.
I entered the position, and after that, I saw that that guy is entering the position with me. So I started messing with that guy. So he started pushing with a bigger size, and that's when he lost, I think, big chunk of portfolio. And I
Yeah.
was like, trying to be steady and push it when it was time. But yeah, there was one guy we were like really close,
And
until
I
the last minute. Yeah, until the
we I
last minute.
noticed that too because yeah,
Yeah.
there was really, really close to last minute, and then he took a massive loss. So I think that
Yes.
was his
Yeah.
way to try to leapfrog
Yeah,
ahead
of
of
course,
you.
FOMO.
Yeah.
He got he wanted to be first or last me, of course, but it was like, it was between me and that person. Yeah. I don't know who that guy is, but it was nice.
Well,
It was nice trading. Yeah.
hey, we are only getting started with these contests, so maybe you're going to come across them on the leaderboard again in the next time. We'll,
That
we'll
would be
talk about
nice.
that a
Yeah,
little bit,
that would be nice.
down the road. Now, when you've mentioned that when we were off air that you've done some of these competitions before, right?
Yeah,
You've played in other competitions. Is there do you feel like you learn a lot from these
of course.
competitions?
I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
So the good, the best side of this competition for me, for the person, for the people who are new, into the trading and into the platforms and softwares, they can learn a lot. For example, you have free platform. You can start exploring the trade ideas. You can set
Hmm.
up your scanners. You can use pre-built scanners. You can play with it, so you can learn. Uh, of course, they can learn and how to trade, how to place a trade. But if you know that and you don't know how to use software, that's the great opportunity to learn, right? So that's the best part. To be honest, that's why I accepted this, because I wanted to explore more. Because I want to see what features are there more. Because I was using, I forgot the name, but the one we had the Pro, right? The Pro platform. There is one up
Yep.
below that. What's the name? I forgot.
The
The standard.
standard.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I was
It's
using that
premium. Yeah.
one.
Yep.
Yeah, I was using that one, so I wanted to take a chance to explore with this one to see what, and it's good. It's really good. Yeah, I really like it. Without trade ideas, I cannot trade. Because that's the only scanner for me personal that it's suitable for me.
Well,
I,
hey,
I mentioned. I'm not sure if I mentioned that live, but I have the pre-built scanner, so
yeah.
uh,
No, we love to hear it. We love to hear it.
without that I cannot trade. For sure. I'm blind. Yeah.
And well,
You're better.
listen, we love to hear it. We're hoping you're gonna be hanging out with us for a while and doing a lot of these competitions. Now, I don't want you to train your competition for the next one, but we
Yeah.
had a few hundred people join this time, and this is only our second one, so we're planning on getting thousands. So to someone out there who is just learning, or they're just entering, they're not a trader, they're not a professional trader yet, but
Mhm.
they're entering the game, and they're like, okay, I want to, just like you mentioned, I want to experiment and learn in this test
Mhm.
environment where I can't hurt myself, and then take that live. What do you think that they should start experimenting with, and what do you think they should focus on when it comes to lessons from that, with ultimately the goal is
Mhm.
I want to win the competition, but I also want to learn how
Want to
to
learn,
actually
yeah.
trade real money in the
Yeah.
long run.
Yeah, I would say start with stock selection. So start using, let's say, the bigger gappers. Okay, you
Yeah.
start scanning that, try to see what is the difference between those stocks, try checking the charts, and then decide to trade with one based on whatever you want. And now you will learn how to place a trade, how to exit the trade. You have level 2, you can watch the tape, you can see the price action, and then you will see that then you can maybe see why it's important for a stock to have volume to so you can be able to trade, so that
Yeah.
there is a move in a action, in a price action. So then maybe try build your own scanner. That will be really nice. But of course, it will be hard because you don't know what to put. But just start with those simple things. Like let's give the top gappers. Let's they be in the market cap from this to this, and just build it, and try experimenting with it.
And that's what we're trying to do, right? Is to give a fun and engaging but really zero risk way
Yeah,
to
exactly. No
play,
risk.
right?
That's yeah, no
Um,
risk there.
yeah, and we love that. So how do you when you go from seeing the massive numbers in the competition,
Hmm.
you're up and down like $1 million in a day,
Yeah,
and then you go to your real account,
yeah,
do
of
you
course.
find that it helps you because
No,
the
yeah,
numbers in your accounts don't matter? Or like for me, it'd almost be like you'd have to come down and say, I have to be, if I make 1,000 real
yeah, of
dollars,
course,
that's great, but I just made 1 million
of
fake
course, of course.
dollars. Is there a problem there?
Yeah,
Does it
of
help?
course. Yeah, there is a problem, and that can be a bad habit for someone if continue. Personally, me, I didn't watch my P&L was off. I didn't watch that during the. I was trading based on the price action on the chart. I didn't watch that because, when you see the million, it's like it's you cannot do that. And what I already mentioned, but first day I made it 2000, and it was really hard. Yeah, I was trading, not a whole day all the time, but I was trading. I was really trying, and then I saw, oof, I need to push this.
Yeah.
I need to step on the gas.
It's funny, yeah. I used to trade at a prop desk, so with a whole bunch of
Oh, really?
people in a physical location. And yeah, I noticed a lot of the old school guys and the pro guys would actually have like a sticky note or a piece of tape, and they'd put it on their screen right in front of the P&L. And they would just say,
Yeah,
I don't,
that's
I'll take it off at the end of the day. I'll see how I did, and I just want to focus on price action. So I really love that.
yes.
Uh,
That can be really challenging because when you see a profit, you're taking too soon. When you are red, you're holding too long. So that's the classic story of almost every trader. So
no, I think that's the move. The more you can just focus on the price action and the candles
that's
and that, I think the better off
the
you are.
trading plan. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned oh no, I was gonna say community. We'll go to that in a second because you
Yeah.
just said my
I want to
favorite
share. Yeah.
word. My
Mhm.
favorite word, which is trading plan. So, do you have a physical copy of a trading plan in front of you? Do you have it kind of written up somewhere? How do you make sure
So
that you A, have a plan, and B, that you're following it in the heat of the moment? Because
yeah,
a lot
sure.
of traders can have that problem where they have a plan and then all of a sudden they just completely go off and do something that they shouldn't have, and then they feel that regret when they're done.
Yeah, so I have a playbook, something that I'm calling a playbook, but most of the traders are calling like that.
Yep.
And I have rules also. So rules are something that I developed during the time. So I'm looking specific stocks, needs to be in this specific sector and etc. So also I'm in a great community, and there is a really few good traders, and we are sharing our findings. So for example, if there is a stock, we are jumping on that. We are checking the filings, checking the history. I have data years from the years old. So I go to my data, check that stock. If I traded, let's say 2021, 2019, I can see what I did back then, what happened back then, what float was back then, what was flow now, and you can compare, and then you are setting up the plan, and I'm trying to execute that plan.
Yeah. And AA as a quant nerd, as a guy who does a lot of the algorithm stuff and
Uh,
around trade ideas, I love when I hear traders keeping their data and then referring to it, because it's really the only thing that pushes us to get better, is to that
yes,
learn of, hey, I did this, for a long run, because one trade doesn't matter, but I did this 5 times and it didn't work. And then I did this
yeah,
five
exactly.
times and it did, right?
Exactly, yeah. The discretionary trader, I will say that I'm because you we need to adapt. We are small
Yep.
fish, so if we are against the algos, we don't have chance actually, but we need to adapt. So we need to adapt.
Yeah, and that's
Everyone.
again the best way to do it is you're keeping your data, you're keeping your plan, you're making sure you're pushing forward. So we've
Yes, exactly.
mentioned community a couple times.
Mhm.
Just tell me
Yeah, it's
about your community, give them a
uh,
little shout out, and why do you think it's important to be part of a community? There's so many traders that are lone wolves and they're just trying to go
that's
at
hard.
it alone. Like, why are you in a community, and just tell us a bit about them?
Yeah, so first it's a friendly bear research community.
Hmm.
David, he have a podcast. It's really good. I mean, everyone should go and listen to that guy. He's really good. Actually, he told me about this competition, and a few people from the group we were there during the competition. I think one guy was 5th or 6th on the ranking. I'm not sure, but yeah, so because why you should learn something uh, on the hard way when someone can share that with you and maybe help you to learn faster. Also, and I need to be careful what I'm saying, but people need to be careful who they follow or who they are
Absolutely.
listening. It's so maybe someone, if listen to me now and he's saying, yeah, I'm in community, and he's in maybe pump stock group or something like that, he will not learn anything. So people need to be aware of that. What can help is people can start reading the books. People can start listening the old guys, the people that actually made something. So
Hmm.
if you see that those people are saying the similar things and you're there, then maybe you're on the right path.
Yeah, so no, I totally agree. There's so many communities out there. I think the problem is finding the right one.
Yes, exactly.
Seems like you guys over was Friendly Bears.
Yeah, yes. Last year I've been so I flight from the Europe to the LA. There was
Yeah.
yeah, during the event, Friendly Bear event. It was really nice. I met a lot of good traders. Uh, most of the people know the Dax. He's a big trader, big guy. He was there. A lot of great people, great traders.
No,
So,
it's just like anything. If you're going to learn a sport,
of
you're
course,
always better to fill yourself with other people that are doing the
it's
same thing, and
professional
and
athlete.
and they're
Yeah,
doing it well,
yeah,
right?
with
Someone who
professional
can
traders.
watch you and say, maybe don't do that a little bit this way, or no, I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so definitely everyone's watching, go check out the community. You
yeah,
mentioned books.
Friendly Bear
Do you
research.
have
Yeah.
any top books that you would recommend for someone out there?
So I have some books here actually.
Mhm.
So depends. To be honest, when I started Market Wizard when I started.
Love them. Yep.
Yeah. Then I started with psychology books, Mark Douglas, and
Yep.
stuff like that. Also for a new trader playbook from Mike. Is
Awesome
really
book too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I met Mike last year in New York. Shout out to S&P.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when you're a beginner, those books are really good. Then after you moved on, I guess you can, if you're more fundamental trader, you can start reading, boring books. Also there is a few, like The Way of the Turtle. It's an old book, but it's good, It's
Yep.
more quant, right? So it's more in
Yep.
your field. Yeah.
I love
There is
those.
a
Yeah.
lot of good books. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna second I actually have I don't have it behind me anymore, but I have a signed
Uh-huh.
copy of the playbook by Mike Bellafiore.
Oh,
So I'm
really?
I'm
Nice.
gonna one up you on that one. But
Right, nice.
yeah, I really, really like that book because for those who don't know, the concept of the book is about basically how to build the playbook that you mentioned
Exactly,
earlier,
exactly.
where
Yeah.
it's, you pick a good trade every day and you mark it down, and then eventually you fast forward a couple months and you have this big stack of these were all my best trades from every single day. And then you start to go through them and you start to see commonalities. You're like, oh,
Mhm.
I waited for VWAP on all these good trades, or I did this, or I did that. And I think that's absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. So
And most important to take a notes after that if you made a good or bad trade. Bad
yeah,
trade is a good trade if you take a note, learn from it, or try to
exactly.
do it.
No, I love that. Now, so listen, I don't want to take too much of your time. I know the market's still open, so you're still
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
looking at a few
yeah.
things here. Just are you going to join us for the future challenges? We got one coming up soon, long only. So I want to talk to you about that a bit. We're going to mess with the rules as we go on just to keep
Hmm.
things interesting. Do you have a game plan for long only? You mentioned you
Actually,
short it mostly.
what will be my game plan. That's something that I want to try. That's why competition is good. So I can try this. I never try with the real account.
Hmm.
Everything that I'm avoiding to short, I will try to go long. You know, so I, that can help because the most things that I'm avoiding to short, they're going up.
Yeah.
So I could start longing that one. So actually, that can be really interesting. I can try that. Yeah.
I think that's awesome. We
Give me
didn't
idea,
intend to
just
do
yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
if we force people to do things that they normally don't do, you might find, hey, you might be in the top of the leaderboard again and find a new strategy you like. So that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll be back. That's fantastic. Now, just any closing thoughts on your experience with it, on what you've learned from the challenge, on how you're going to approach future challenges, just something to leave the crowd with.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I learned some new things from the Trades Idea platform. So I think that's the best value that you can get out of it. I tried a few more things. It was really fun, interesting. You can try new strategy, without risking your real money, I mean, your real account. So but most of the things I learned few new things with your platform. I did, yeah, actually I didn't know how to set up some things when I will not bother, but when stock is halted to give you a sign. Yeah, so
Yep.
I didn't know that there is option for that. I learned that. So yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
will recommend. Yeah, yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for participating.
Thank
Thanks
you and
for
thank your team. Yeah,
being interviewed after your insane $3.5
yeah,
million win.
yeah,
Pumped to see you in future ones for sure.
yeah. Of course, of course, of course.
So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and
Thank
I'll
you.
see you in the next one.
Thank you.